Hey there kids, welcome back. This is David from Atomic Candy, and right now we are Open by Chance. Now, I've been a toy collector since the late 1980s, and I've learned a lot in that time. So today I'm going to share some of that with you in this top 10 list. So whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's really new to the game, I hope you get something out of today's presentation. So let's go ahead and get started. As previously stated, condition is king. Let's take a look at something from Funko Pop to start us off. This is the Kingdom Hearts Walmart exclusive Pete Funko Pop black and white variant figure, which is a difficult figure to find. It usually would get a premium price, but let's take a closer look. Indentation here, weak corners on the top, indentation here, on the bottom, on the back flap, more weak corners on the bottom. To a modern collector, that would be unacceptable and could not get a premium price. With modern items, perfect condition is expected. And I would continue to say that that would go for anything made from the 90s on. Let's look at another example. The Contra video game exclusive 2-pack from NECA. Excellent condition box. No immediate flaws are visible. The package is still sealed. The figures are properly displayed inside. This has not been displayed open, so there's no weakness to the corner where this would normally be split here if it was held open for a long period of time. This would normally sell from between $40 to $50, and you could get that much for this in this condition. Another good modern example is this Destroyer from Marvel's Diamond Select series. Diamond Select in this type of an oversized package often arrives to the retailer damaged. Very often the cardboard all along the edges and on the bottom are in really poor condition, and often these Diamond Select figures have a lot of scuffs on the plastic. This one, however, is in excellent physical condition and would command the normal price for this figure, whereas other ones in damaged packaging would sit on the shelves indefinitely because, as I previously stated, with modern figures, perfection in the packaging is absolutely expected. Now let's look at some vintage examples. Take this 1978 Mattel Suckerman as an example. Obvious indentation on the top, a little bit of surface wear on the front, a weak corner here, weak corner on the bottom. But to a Mattel Suckerman collector, that is absolutely acceptable. Minor damage to vintage items, especially something as old as this, being produced in 1978, is absolutely acceptable to a collector because of the scarcity of finding items like this still sealed in the packaging. Let's take a look at something else from vintage. Here's a nice example. A 1976 Mego Micronauts Time Traveler. These are very difficult to find on the card, so although there is visible surface wear and obvious weak corners, a Mego Micronauts collector would very easily pay upwards of $100 for this figure, knowing how difficult it is to find on the card. So even though it's got some weak corners, that's not a problem for someone who collects something from this series. If this were a modern figure, this condition would be absolutely unacceptable. and could not even command a retail price. Let's look at one more example. Here is a 1964 G.I. Joe action sailor in a nearly perfect box. We'll go ahead and open this since these boxes were not sent out to retail sealed. Here is our action sailor, who has an early body mold type, an early 64 body mold type, and is in obvious, unused, unplayed with condition. You can even see the original sticker sheet back there is untouched. This is an unplayed with condition figure in a nearly perfect box. Once again, condition is king. Because of how excellent the condition of this packaging and unplayed with status of this figure is, at auction, the sky could be the limit. Always try to find the best possible pricing. That is, hunt for your items. Let's use Funko as an example again. Take a look at this Funko Dorbs Masters of the Universe Faker Walmart exclusive. I've mentioned this in several videos actually, because I never found one. I was never able to find one of these in Walmart, and certainly not in Walmart online. It just wasn't available, but there are plenty of them available on eBay for a considerable price. Anywhere from $60 to $80, which I found to be unacceptable. I just was not going to pay that much for a new Dorbs that should have been available in the stores. I finally did track one down for a reasonable price, around $30. I thought it was reasonable, so that was acceptable. Hunt for the best pricing, and I'll show another example here.
For another example of hunting for best pricing, we're going to look at Funko Pops again. Here we have the Alamo City Comic Con metallic version of the 1966 Adam West Batman. This is the best price on Amazon, $124.99 plus $4.99 for shipping. Now, if you did not shop around, you would not be aware that you could get the exact same Funko Pop 1966 metallic Alamo City Batman on eBay with a buy it now price of $47 with free shipping. That is a difference of $82.98 that you would have lost if you jumped the gun and did not shop around for a better price.
Now, whereas it's good policy to always try to hunt for the best possible price, there are times where you just have to suck it up. And here is another example from my collection. This is an original General Mills Count Chocula vinyl figurine, still in the box. Produced by General Mills in the mid-1970s. It was a set of 5. But you cannot find these. You are lucky if you see one of those characters still in the box for sale in a year. Now, if you're hunting for something like this for your collection, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and do the best that you can and end up paying the premium price instead of hunting for the best possible price. Very important, try not to get overwhelmed. Have goals to focus on. Personally, I'm very fond of the Fisher-Price Adventure People series that was produced in 1975 and ran for about 10 years. The Adventure People series was very expansive. it branches off in a lot of directions. And I could not go in all those directions. So what I decided to do was narrow my focus and concentrate just on their space series for now. And when I have completed the space series, then I can move on to collecting items from the other series that were available by Fisher-Price at that time. I've always been very fond of the space series in particular. So I'll work on this a little bit at a time until I've completed it, and then if I decide to, I can move on from there. Grabbing at straws for this Fisher-Price item and that can get very overwhelming. And right now, we're seeing a lot of that with collectors with Funko. Funko is overproducing Pops, and Pop collectors are starting to feel the pinch, and many of them have been giving up completely, which is unfortunate.
Have a budget and stick to it. This is easily one of the most difficult items on the list because it's all so tempting. You go to a show, you look up the things that you like online, cruise through eBay or wherever it is that you search, visiting your favorite collectible toy store and drooling over the items on the shelves. It is so tempting to spend every dime you have and still want more. It is very important that you pace yourself here or you'll end up going broke. Have a set budget, whatever you're comfortable spending in a week, in a month, and try your best to stick to it. I know it's hard because toy collecting is addictive, but this one is really important.
Next is to be patient. Sometimes it takes a very long time to complete a set of something. Take, for example, this Mattel Preschool Chatterchums Mickey Mouse from the mid to late 1970s, still sealed in the box and still in working condition.
Are you a mouse computer too?
Very excellent. But these figures also came in a carded variety. The carded varieties are extremely rare to find. There were only 3 produced, which are pictured here, and I have 2 of them. I'm still searching for the Pink Panther. It has taken 3 years to track these 2 down, and it could take even longer to find the Pink Panther, which is difficult to find boxed or carded. From the Mattel Chatterchum series, it can be considered a grail item to find it still sealed in the box or on the card. Sometimes your collection to complete something is going to take a long time. So have patience. Another very important lesson while collecting is that something being rare does not necessarily equate value. For example, this Quiz Kid from National Semiconductor, which is a child's learning calculator. You punch in your arithmetic problem and you punch in your answer. If it's correct, the eye turns green. If you are incorrect, the other eye turns red. This is from the late 70s, I believe 1978. It is in unused condition. Now I have this because I had one as a child, and that's why I bought it. But it's not valuable at all. As a matter of fact, if I were to put this on auction, even though it's unplayed with condition, minor box flaws for something for the 70s, it would probably make about $25 to $30. Let's look at another more interesting example. This is another childhood toy of mine, an original 1976 Playmobil Knight Deluxe set, the King Arthur set, if you will, still unplayed with condition in the box. Very difficult to find vintage Playmobil sets that are in unplayed with condition, especially these where they have the chrome plating, which easily rubbed off of these sets and off of the accessories that came with it. But this entire set in unplayed with condition, in a relatively excellent box like this, even though it's rare and it's from the 70s, is probably only worth around $50, maybe $60. But I had this as a child and I wanted it again, so it means something to me. But it's not necessarily valuable, even though it's old and rare.
Buying items individually aftermarket for your collection can get quite expensive. If you're able to find a lot and can get a good price, that's often the best way to go. Here we have a collection of 54 200X Masters of the Universe action figures. $1,000 for 54 brings it out to just over $18 per figure. That's with free shipping, and there is the possibility of getting the price reduced, which would make the cost of each individual figure even less. For example, let's say that you were able to negotiate a price of $800 for this lot. That would make the cost of each individual item just short of $15 each, with the value of each individual item in this lot ranging from between $20 to $50 each. Rounded off, this lot is easily worth $2,000 if each piece is sold individually. If you collected 200X Masters of the Universe, you could fill in a lot of gaps in your collection and trade or sell off the rest of it to literally make your money back.
Being able to obtain multiples of identical items for your collection gives you the unique opportunity of being able to examine and select the best possible example for your own personal collection, and then have others that you could trade or even sell in order to recover the amount that you invested. If you started out with one that was in damaged or even poor condition, you can continue to upgrade by getting a better one and better still, and then trade or sell away whatever you have extra. Being able to invest that way makes it so that you can maintain your collection without spending a fortune.
Get to know like-minded collectors. If there's a certain type of collecting that you're into, talk to people from that genre of collecting. You're into Godzilla? Talk to other people who collect Godzilla. You're into Legends Build-A-Figures? Talk to other people who have Legends Build-A-Figures. Get their take on it, communicate with them, and enjoy it. Go to conventions, talk to the people at the conventions, talk to dealers at the conventions. If you're in line waiting for an event, like if you do Funko Pop hunting, talk to the people in line, get to know them. Share the knowledge. Sometimes you know things they don't, sometimes they know things you don't. They can put you on to something that you've been looking for, they can give you some advice, or you can do it for them. It makes it a lot more fun, and it opens it up for opportunities to get trades, to find deals, and to gain information you might not have otherwise had.
Know your product. What do I mean by that? Basically, know something about what it is that you collect. Don't just collect it. Be able to talk about it if you wanted to. Who made it? When did it come out? Is it connected to a television show, a movie, an advertising product, a comic book, and so on? It makes it a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. It also helps you to be able to identify if something is complete, if something has a knockoff or a replacement item, the wrong accessory, or possibly even associated with the wrong genre. Many people collect items they don't even know anything about. And very often, the dealers that you get them from, if they're retro items like the ones here, don't know anything about the products either. You be the expert.
Next, we're going to be talking about trying not to get too caught up with fads. That is, things that are popular for popularity's sake, that hold little value and really aren't that interesting when you get right down to it. And for this one, we're going to pick on Todd McFarlane a little bit. See, in the early to mid 90s, Todd McFarlane started his own line of action figures, and he brought to the action figure arena a concept that he borrowed from comic book collecting. And that was the concept of variants. One of the earliest of deliberate variants that can be found in comic books is with Todd McFarlane's own series of Spider-Man comics, which had multiple first edition covers, all released at the same time. When McFarlane went over to Image Comics and then started producing his own action figures, he borrowed this concept. As you can see in this cascading display of Tremor figures from the Spawn action figure series. All of these are the exact same figure, released around the same time, but the figures have different paint schemes and are on different cards. People went crazy for these at the time, but look at their values now. Here's a classic example, and this is one that I use all the time. This is an original Malbolgia figure, brown variant, still on the card. There is some damage in the upper left-hand corner here, but as you can see, this sold for 99 cents plus $8.15 for shipping. So $9.16 is what this sold for. And I will tell you right now, that is lower than the original retail value of that figure. And I will also tell you, as someone who used to be a dealer with Great Eastern Conventions in Boston in the mid 90s, I could have easily gotten over $100 for that figure in that condition at that time. But that's because everyone at that time was taken up by the novelty of it, caught up in the fad. And when the dust settled, this is what happened to the value of those figures. They're almost worthless now and available in abundance. The same could easily be said of the starting lineup figures. There was a time where you could get a very premium price for starting lineup figures mint on the card. This photo was taken by me at a half-price books that had them on clearance in the table for $1 each. And there are some figures in there that I recognize and remembered getting more than $30 to $40 a piece for back in the mid 90s. Now, not even worth $1 because I took this picture the second time I saw them there, sitting in the doorway on the clearance table for $1 a piece and not selling because no one wants them. The novelty wore off. The fad has expired. Be very careful about getting swept up in fads. and investing money where there is no investment to be found.
And one more thing, I'm going to give you a number 11 here. Collect what you love. Actually enjoy what you are doing. Whether you're somebody who just collects, or whether you trade, or even if you sell as well. If you're collecting, collect something that you personally really love, really like, really enjoy. Don't be someone who just does this for profit. It's not fun. It really isn't. First of all, it's not guaranteed. Value is never guaranteed, especially in newer items. And secondly, you can always tell, can't you? When you're buying from a dealer, if they're a dealer who's a collector, you know they are. And you can feel it. And you get a good camaraderie with that person. When there's somebody who just sells and they don't care, it's just not the same. So enjoy what you do. Don't just collect to have stuff. Don't just collect because you think it's worth a fortune or because someone else has it. Actually enjoy what you're doing. So that being said, there we are. I hope you found the list helpful or informative. If you have anything pertaining to the list that you want to say, go ahead and put it in the comment section down below. If you have anything you think should be added to the list, put it in the comment section down below. Please do go ahead and comment, and I try to respond as often as possible. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe if you have not already. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It's the easiest way to show your appreciation for the videos. And share the love. Share the video as much as you can. The more of you that there are watching, the more we can do here. So, hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Seriously? Yeah. Come on, Romeo. Hello, hello. This is David. Hello, hello. This is Annoyed. Hello, hello. This is David from Atomic Candy, and this is Romeo. He interferes with all of my filming. He wants to be on camera so badly, but then when you pick him up, forget it. Go on, Romeo. Run away. Get out of my cup.